Hey everyone, this is Chilton Reynolds from the TLTC. Wanted to share with you some thoughts on how to create a discussion forum where you're going to do group work inside the discussion forum and how one of the best ways to set it up that we think and how we would recommend doing it. So I'm in a course in Blackboard and I have all of my different links at the left hand side for different things. I'm going to go to my discussions area. And inside of here, I already have one discussion that might have been from my first week, and I want to create a new one for, we're going to call it week 2, and it's going to be a group discussion where I want 4 or 5 students to be able to kind of talk together, discuss things instead of the whole class. I want to make it smaller groups so it's more intimate, an intimate discussion that they're having. So I'm going to click on Create Forum, and I want to kind of talk through a couple of the settings here I think would be important to be able to do for this. So the first one is we need to have a name. So it's our week 2 group discussions. And I might have some directions for it right here. Here are the groups for this week. You know, here's group 1 is Dan, Chris, Sarah, and Charlene. Group 2 is, group 3 is, and you can put the names in for everybody and you can set that however you want to. Okay, so you'd have all that information right here. And then if we scroll down, we want to make the form available. You can choose on the standard view where participants must create a thread first. That's not what we're going to talk about today. Same with grading. You can have this be graded or not. I'm going to say that it's going to be graded and it's going to be worth 5 points. And then I want to allow them to subscribe to this. And then down here is where I really want to focus. The allow members to create new threads. I want to turn that off. I don't want the students to be able to create their own thread. I'm going to be creating the threads and then force them into the thread that I want them in. So I'm going to uncheck allow members to create new threads. Now I usually leave off the delete own posts or edit their own published posts just because it makes it more streamlined, but you can choose on that one. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. And I'm actually going to move myself for a second and click submit. Now I have my new discussions on the page. And if you notice, it's right here on the page. It says who's in which group. And I'm actually going to click on the title of this form now. So I'm going to click on this. And then I am going to create the threads for them. So I'm going to click on create thread. And then for this subject, I'm going to say group 1 responds here. And then I could put their names in again. Dan, Chris, Sarah, and Charlene. Charlene. There we go. Okay. I can put in more of a message if I want to. So I could be, here is where group 1 will respond to the prompt. You could put the prompt in here again if you wanted to so they could see it. Based off of the readings that we had in chapter 2 today, please respond with the top 3 important topics you thought were most important from this, or whatever it is that you want them to respond. And then again, I need to move myself. I apologize. You can click submit down here at the bottom of the page. And now we can see group 1 response here. Now I'm going to create another thread for my second group. So I'll create a thread. So group 2, and I could put their names here. Names go right here. I would copy and paste that prompt that I had done before and put it into here for my group 2. So they have the exact same starting point. And then be able to click submit. And then do that for as many groups if you have. So if I have 2 groups, if I have 3 groups, however many you want them to have, then you would set those right here. So I'm going to create a thread one more time. I had said 3 groups before, so now I'm going to say group 3, and their names would go right here. And again, I could post the prompt right here if I would like to, and click submit. Now the other thing, again, this goes back to your personal preference. Some people don't like to have them listed in reverse chronological order, so if you just click on the word date again, it can swap it around so the one you posted first is at the top and then it has them go this way. You can use any of these across the top as a way to sort them. Most people like to have the date where it's either the most recent one at the top or the earliest one at the top. Either way, now that I have this, now my students in group 1 would come in here and have their conversation and only be in there with the other students. The students in group 2 would go here, and the students in group 3 would go here. The benefit of this is that there's only one column in your grade center, so when you go to grade, all of the columns would be together for this weekly reading. And when I go to grade the discussion forum myself, so again, if I click on discussions, and then I click on the week 2 group discussion, I now have a grade discussion forum, and I would be able to go right here and grade everybody no matter which thread they're in. So I can go through my whole class and be able to check on them to make sure that they have replied correctly, or excuse me, they've posted correctly, and then they posted the number of replies I've asked of them. So if there's 4 people in a group and I've asked them to reply to other 3 people in their group, they should have 4 posts total. I can then check to make sure they have the 4 posts and grade them from there. So this is how we recommend setting up group discussions. If you want to have smaller groups in your class, be able to respond just to 3 or 4 other people. The one not even downfall, but one thing to know here is that if I'm in group 1, I still can go into group 2 and see the conversation. I could still go into group 3 and see the conversation, but I'm only have to focus on my one group. So just be aware they can go into the other groups, but they don't have to. They can just do their one group and work from there. All right, thanks. Have a good afternoon or evening or night or morning, wherever you are in the day.